Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Greetings and gratitude. This is Tiffany Martinez. I hope you guys are doing more than amazing today. I hope that you're having a blessed day. Not blessed, but bliss. Because we all know that the word bless spells out, when you pronounce it, it says be less. And we don't want to be less at anything that we are doing in this lifetime. Um, this rising, I am going to do another reading on myself. And these aren't readings that are like, oh, I've already pulled the cards and then I already know what's on the other side. No, it's nothing like that. It's just I'm the only one that's pulling the cards, and I don't want to set up a tripod and all that at this time, nor do I want, or I don't want to sit at my dining room table. I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to do it here. And if you know me on a personal level, you know I keep it real anyways. So um, the first two cards here, the one that has the malachite sitting on there, um, those two cards flew off the deck as I was shuffling them. The deck is rather thick if you've seen the original video, or the first high council video, or the second high council, where I show you how thick the deck is. Like, it's pretty thick, right? So it's hard to shuffle the entire deck for me in one. Like, I have to split it in half, then shuffle them and all that. So, anyways, I'm ready to get started. Um, and I've asked my ancestors, to step forward along with spirit as I pull these cards. Today's cards are for my health and what's going to be the outcome, or the outcome, what I need to do, and what's going to happen. So I don't know, I don't believe that's all going to be explained in the first three cards, but just to give you, if this is your first time seeing one of my, live, it's not live, but, it's live for me because I'm doing it in real time, but you may see it a few days later or whatever, or you've never seen any of them. So I generally pull the first three cards, and then if I feel like, I got the answer that I was looking for, and that has yet to happen, by the way, the first three cards, then I'll pull a fourth card, and that is the advice card, like what spirit wants me to do about the situation, regardless if it's for myself or for someone else. But if I feel like I did not get the answer in the first three cards, I'll go on to the second row and pull another three cards. And if I still don't get, it's not about seeing what I want to see. Like, for instance, this one's for me. I'm not going to keep pulling it and says, oh, okay, I'm going to have a great day. No. But the third row will be the final row. Then I'll come back and I'll pull three cards going up. And again, the card that's here is the advice card. And I went back and reviewed my old videos, old as in with these decks, that it does really paint a really good picture. Like, it paints a nice blueprint. Basically, the story comes all together, even though one of these cards or a card up here just don't make sense, or I don't think that it applies to me or whoever I'm pulling the cards for. I think the last recording that I did was for my mother, and asking her if there's anything that she would like me to know, like right now. And I went through the video. Initially, I said, I just saw what, it's not that what I wanted to see, but I didn't think it applied to me at that time. But then when I went back to review it, I felt like I got a card wrong, or the understanding of the card was wrong. And I was like, oh wow, okay, like that makes sense. So, I'm just mentioning this so you don't think um that I'm just pulling cards for myself, to make myself look good. If that was the case, then I wouldn't be pulling these cards at all, because I would have had a really good outcome. Like, everything is going to be fine. Like, I already know things in life aren't going to be fine. And it's hard not to mention him. My husband, Henry, he transitioned on 11/30/2021. So that was unexpected. The storm nearly blew out my light. Like, it just nearly did. Because if you ever had a moment where you felt like you literally you couldn't feel the breath going into your lungs, you couldn't feel the air, you just, like, everything just went silent. And I found this decal that I have on my wall, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but it says "Just Breathe," and that's how it was. And underneath, you can't really see it because I have a big picture of us there and some other things, but it says "Just breathe. You'll never live this moment again." Like, as my grandmother insisted on telling me when I called her that day, because I couldn't reach my mom. She was like, you just don't know it, but it's going to be okay. And I said, it's not, and still today, still, teary eyed about it, because this can't be okay for this situation. Moments coming down the pipe may be okay, but I can't undo 11/30/2021. That just simply means we can't go back and say, make this right, or even go back further to make sure the event never happened. Like, I don't have that type of power, or like people say, I don't have that type of pull. Like, if I did, my husband would still be here, and 11/4/2022 would have never happened. That's my mother, and June 7th, 2012 would have never happened. So, and then we have all the other unfortunate events, like, my neighbor's daughter, she transitioned before my husband did. We would have stopped all of that if we had that type of power, but okay, just a second. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm already ready, but um, 'cause I don't want to cry and stuff. So, as I said, the questions were to the spirit. What's going on with my health? Like, I already know on paper what's going on, but I want to know basically the outcome. It's not going to change my efforts or anything like that, but it's just basically a medical reading, and the spirit knows more than I will ever know or understand. Excuse me. And I'm gonna get started. Um, like I said, these first two cards, they were that they flew out the deck when I was shuffling. So I didn't put them back in, because I figured if they're flying out the deck, they are meant to be. So, excuse me. Excuse me. Uh, the first card is the Three of Swords. Excuse me. I'm working here. Can you move to the side? What do you mean, no? Chowder, can you go way over there, please? Okay. Back to the cards. So sorry that it's so... I don't have my flash on. Let me see if I can just go smaller, and then it'll let me. Yeah. Okay. It says the governess of swords. It says honest and perceptive, objective and fair, spiritual, manipulative, manipul- manipulative, and malicious constructive criticism. Um, Not really sure if that is going to tie the story together, but we will see. Again, these are the two cards that flew out. Did that say spiteful? Yeah, spiteful. Okay, the doors is the next card. To success are always open, and it's time you walk through them. Okay, that is the very first one that definitely applies to me, um, and or applies to the question that I asked. Um, and it says also up here it says fighting against self. That I do believe too. New employment, I don't think so. Building a business, well, my business has been up technically for 20 some years. So, I mean, that part is, I don't think it's pertaining to my health. And it says to success. That's the one that I'm gonna put with the story. Okay, the third one is past, present, and dimensions of the future. Seeing across dimensions. Deeper connection with spirit. Wisdom of the ancestors. Um, as I mentioned before about my husband, I really felt like we both died that day. And just, I was brought back. That's what I feel. Like, I was just brought back. So, that's the one I'm connecting with right now. But I may get a different perspective, like, after this reading, like, when the video finishes. Um, but the word future is also listed here. So it's the past, present, and the future. So maybe I'll have a future. I'm gonna put my phone down so I can get the next three cards. I'm just gonna give it a gentle shuffle, even though they've already been shuffled. I like to shuffle in between um, pulling each row, and I'm putting down the third card. Okay. On Papa Candello, be true to yourself, think upon it, act wisely, enjoy life. Um, Love genuine. The one that's sticking out to me the most is act wisely, enjoy life, and think upon it. So there's probably something coming down the pipe that I need to think or rethink, because sometimes we as humans already have your mind made up. As soon as the person gives you the message, well, I ain't gonna do it anyways. Or you know what I mean? Like, it's already, you've already made your mind up. So what's sticking out to most is act wisely and think upon it. So whatever's coming down the pipe for me, myself, Tiffany, I need to think on it before. Like, for instance, when my husband was here, like, I've had like 6 or 7 surgeries, and I kept telling him this is going to be my last surgery because I was starting to develop a phobia with them putting the oxygen on me. And, right before they put me under the anesthesia, I was starting to develop a phobia of that. Like, I was just starting to, like, freak out. But it's like sometimes like they say, you got to put your big girl panties on. And that's what I feel like I had to do. And the last surgery that I had, the technicians were rather rough, and it felt like most people I know have worked at least one fast food restaurant, or a grocery store, and you're constantly, you're just doing cookie cutter work, and you're just going fast, fast, fast. Like, they were grabbing my arms pretty fast and hooking me up, to the IV, and it was like, oh yeah, you're gonna be fine, blah blah blah. And I'm like, it just made me feel uncomfortable, but they were just doing their job. They weren't trying to be malicious. It was just they were doing their job. But I kept saying, my husband is waiting for me, So I'm going to go on to the next. So again, that's what I'm pulling out, or what I'm thinking it is. Something is coming down the pipe for me next, and I need to, reconsider the options. Education is sticking out already. Why? Because it just means, again, to whatever's coming down, to think on it and act wisely, and more or less read on whatever the topic is. Um, that is what I think thus far. Okay, the next card. Domestic problems. This is the Empress card. Lack, gain, opportunity, and abundance. Financial issues, maternal care. This is my first time seeing this card. So, maybe there is an opportunity coming down for me next. Some type of opportunity. Maternal care. Okay, that one has me a little concerned. A little concerned. So, domestic problems. No, unless it's outside of this home, there is no domestic problems considering my situation. Like I said, opportunity and abundance. I think that's it. I'm gonna pull the next three cards. Okay, I did a quick shuffle. I'm putting down the first card, the second card, and the third card. I do look forward to the day that I only have to pull three cards and feel confident that that's what I needed to hear, and I'll go on to the advice card. Okay, the first card is the Four of Cups. Remorse and regret, building yourself fantasy, no passions or loss of motivation, end of stagnation. To me, it's either end of stagnations or seizing opportunities. No, it's either end of stagnations or remorse and regret. I don't know about the remorse and regret because I just don't live my life feeling that way, for the fact that I don't do that. It's like for instance, if I'm going to forgive you, I'm going to forgive you, but we're done. I don't have remorse or regret for what I said because I've forgiven you. So now you got to make peace to what I said. So that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem, you know. So, and maybe that's what that is right here. It goes back to the spiteful right here in this corner right here. It may go back to that because, I'm being spiteful because some people think that you should forgive and forget and still be all hunky dory. I don't know if that's a phrase or not, but they expect you to submit, and it's like I can't be a doormat to anybody. So I forgive you for your fucked up actions, but we are done. Nonetheless, we're done. Okay, moving on to the Fool card. See, it seems like the story is coming together just fine. The Fool card. Beginnings, innocence, folly, chaos, poor judgment, leap of faith. Um, beginnings, sorry, is right here where the light is, and leap of faith. So somehow, um, leap of faith and beginnings, so new beginnings, more or less new beginnings and leap of faith. Um, and the question again was the outcome of all these health issues that I'm going through and have been going through for quite some time. Okay, let's see. The Three of Wands, like lack of foresight, lack of depth, adventures, failed expansion, experiencing life and adventures. If those are true, experiencing life and adventures, that in my and on my personal opinion, I think that everything could possibly turn up all well, only for the fact that lack of foresight, lack of spiritual depth, failed expansions. It doesn't seem like this is going to be, in my opinion, a bad reading. Like, yeah, it's not looking good or anything like that. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I'd rather be wrong than, wrong here versus wrong in the long run. Okay, I'm gonna pull the last three cards, which are the advice cards, and shuffle one more time. And then get finished. So, I'm pulling the first card for this row, the second row, and the third row. And the third one was upside down as it came out the deck. As I was initially shuffling the deck, I was trying to rearrange the cards so they can all be right side up and then shuffle. But the more I did it, the more the cards some became upside down. And for me, if it's upside down, that means you must pay attention to whatever that message is. Okay. Shoshone. Four winds of power blow upon me with God's speed. The planes of the of the earth's power, governance, deities of dust, fireworks, or light. Keeper of the ethers, governess of the skies. Shine your beams, let me see, water, power, governess of the seas. Let me hear your empower me, hear my cry, winds of change. So, like I said, it started over here with spiteful, manipulative, malicious, the governess of swords. And we went through the story, and right here where it says the winds of change. So something is changing, something is coming down the pipe, and this one was death and rebirth. Like I said, I still believe that when my husband transitioned, we both transitioned together. It's just they just said, wait, one at a time, you go back. And that's what I sincerely believe that. And the winds of change, meaning something is changing. And then over here, it says, think upon it with Papa Candelo, enjoy life. And then this card, like I said, the story is just coming together really well. And I said education. That's the one that sticks out to me, because if I'm concerned about my health, or if anyone's concerned about their health, they should go see whoever they see for their care. I'm not a licensed professional anymore, so I'm not giving any type of advice. I was just making that point about this. So, or I can choose to have ignorance to the situation and just keep doing as I am doing, which is still under care, but maybe there's something more that needs to be done. This is coming off as a really good card. Winds of change. And let's go. The second row of the advice is the Hermit card. I have not seen this card before either until now. It says exile and loneliness. Trust me, I'm far from lonely. I just miss my husband. Meditation and solitude, self-reflection, soul searching. I don't know what this one is. Oh, withdrawn. So this one, I'm thinking the soul searching and self-reflection and meditation, because I'm already doing the solitude thing very well. And again, these cards are the advice cards. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to do for self. Introspection at the bottom. So the soul searching, maybe, but the meditation, in solitude with self-reflection is essential. Those are the two that are sticking out the most. And I think what would happen, exile and loneliness, if I don't try to, meditate more and find myself, a new self within these two back-to-back tsunamis. And I'm going technically 3 if you want to count Magic, if you know who Magic is. Okay, the last card, like I said, it's upside down. So whatever advice card that this belongs to, and it goes with these 3 or the entire story, I need to pay very close attention to it. Let's see what it says. Okay, again, it was upside down, but I'm going to turn it around so you can see it and I can read it. It says calm energy, renewed faith, purpose, despair, loss of enthusiasm. This is the Star card. And common sense. So, in despair. So this card could be looked at as like a wild card. Let's go back to see what this was. 4 of Cups. Starting to get uncomfortable. Remorse and regret. So these 2 cards could possibly go together. I said end of stagnation, which I think is possibly a good thing. Putting yourself out of a rent, or pulling yourself out on the rent. This is on the side. Pulling yourself, like if you don't take the advice of spirit and you do whatever you want to do, then it could really mess up what spirit has in store for you. Sorry, I had to put the phone down for a moment. So that's just my perception of it. And again, this card was upside down. See, remorse and regret. See, if I don't follow something on this reading, I may end up having remorse or regret on something. But if I do something right, if I follow their plan, then I may have renewed faith. I may not have to worry about despair. I may not, and I can find self-purpose and that calm energy, which is what I guess everyone could possibly need in their life. And then we have loss of enthusiasm, and I think I saw that on one of these cards. Excuse me, let me put this one back. or something related to loss of enthusiasm. I saw it somewhere. Um, Maybe it was this one, fighting against self, possibly that one. Um, but it goes back to this card right here, Winds of Change. Shoshone seems to be in my corner and trying to help me along my way through my storm, so that I may be able to enjoy life. And then here's the beliefs again, because up here it said renewed faith. It's not that I've ever lost faith in Governor Yehuda. I've never lost faith in him. Um, it's never that. It's just when you feel like your world, it no longer exists, it means I need to rebuild. And I did see a building card somewhere along these cards here, something pertaining to building, because it may not be necessarily. Oh, see, I was going to start another business prior to the pandemic. I was going to start another business. I was going to transfer or migrate my things that I have on another website onto my own personal site, because I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and I was going to start doing it to make my own website. But like, I had everything ready to go. I had already picked. I was going to use one of my domain names, because I had like 4 at the time, but I let 2 of them go because I was losing interest in everything once 11:30 came down the pipe, and um, somewhere there was a loss of interest along one of these cards. Um, I'm not bored, but loss of motivation. Again, this is on the 3rd row and it's turned upside down. Things could always change. So we should never, we should never give up on anything that, that we are passionate about and that we want to do. And, I wanted my own things, and that's what I was going to do. So maybe I will get back into that and give another try, and that'll give me the purpose that shows up on this card right here, the final card right there. It says purpose, and I knew it was going to be a good thing. My husband knew it was going to be a good thing. He actually was encouraging me to do it, and I had everything ready to go, and I had a lot of inventory that was lined up. But when 11:30 came through, and I was just like, the hell with it, I'm just done, and done. But then I had these 6 little eyes looking at me and pointing to their bowl, because it's empty and they still needed to be fed. They still needed water. They still needed care. And they're cats, of course, but it's no different than you looking at your children thinking, or your grandchildren, or whoever you're taking care of. It's like, you don't get to bow out. You don't get to quit. You don't get to quit. You still have to finish what you started. So I may do it once I get through some of the stuff, or I may just start another vision board. Who knows? Anyways, if you enjoyed this video of this reading that was for myself, kindly give my video a thumbs up, and maybe if you would like to subscribe, you can. That's gonna be it, 'cause I am in so much pain right now. I'm about to cry. It's pretty messed up, but okay. Ashe.